Hello, thank you for joining me. Today I want to talk about a controller that I got recently, a Dogbone style for the NES. I ordered it online, and it just did not feel like the other controller. I have a Dogbone style NES controller by Nintendo, and it's really nice. I wanted another one like it, and this one's okay. Like, the buttons are all right. They're not quite the same, but they're pretty good. But the D-pad is just not the same. So I was wondering, what is it inside that could possibly make this D-pad feel so different? So I opened the two up and compared them. First I'm going to show the original Nintendo Dogbone style D-pad, which is here. You can see it's got this circular back to it, and right here there's a little knob so that it can pivot on that. This is what is in the new one that I just got. So you can see this is just the cross piece, and it's flat on the back. You're just sort of pushing on this cross piece that's just resting on some of those little dots. So you can imagine that that feels much different from this pushing on this kind of circular piece of plastic pivoting on this. So what I did was I took a plastic, this is a miniature base like you'd put a miniature figurine into, and I have a Dremel, so I finally cracked that out, and I sanded this down. So I basically took all the edge off the top and bottom of it, so it's just a flat piece of plastic, and I'm going to glue this to the back of here. I did try putting this into the controller just like this and trying it out, and just having this circular plastic on the back of it, let me tell you, it makes a world of difference as to how this feels. Let's take a look and I'll tell you how this came out. So day 2, I've gone ahead and reassembled these controllers, and I was able to get some glue and super glue these pieces together, and this was highly successful, so I'm really happy with this. I am going to comment a little bit on the build quality of the generic controller here that I got. I guess, as you would expect, it's not all that good, and it's odd. I don't really understand why in this day and age, if you're gonna go to the bother of making a controller, why you wouldn't try to make it as good or maybe even better than the original. Then again, I mean, I did get this very cheaply, so perhaps that is the sole reason. At any rate, there were some things about this that I think are worth noting. One is that the cord, where it comes out here on the original Nintendo controller, there are some plastic pegs, and the cord is sort of nicely wrapped around those, so that, you know, if you yank on it or something like that, it's not apt to just pull out or to damage the wires that are connecting the cable inside. This was not quite like that, so the posts are still in there. So I went ahead and I just pushed some of the shielding into the controller and wrapped it around there when I was reassembling this. It's just a very simple assembly thing, but it just makes this controller a little nicer. If you pick one up, you might want to just, at the very least, do that, so that you're less likely to yank your cord out and damage something. So in addition to that, the buttons feel, they're brighter. They're like springier. So it feels like bouncier, and you can probably hear it. That's the 4 directions. Now just kind of compare that to the Nintendo one. That's the 4 directions. Start and select. A and B. I mean, you can kind of hear the plastic rattling around in there, but somehow it's like it's a different material, and it's less springy. But really, this D-pad it's so much better. It's a world of difference. I feel like I can use this controller now, and you know, maybe it's not quite as nice as my Nintendo branded one, but it's pretty decent now that we've gone ahead and kind of machined that D-pad. So I hope that this was helpful. If you get one of these controllers, you know, I wouldn't steer you away from it, but I would really recommend that you do this modification to it if you get one, because it's going to make your experience so much better. And of course, if you can get a used, you know, one of those Nintendo ones, especially, you know, I mean, even if it costs a little bit more, you may, you know, just want to take this into consideration. It is a better controller ultimately. But I'm really happy with my purchase now that I've made this modification, and I hope that was helpful for you. And I hope you'll join me again for some more video gaming related videos.